All right, let's get into it. Round one, NRL is done and dusted. There's winners, there's losers, there's upsets. There's a lot going on, but let's start, big fella, with your boys, Panthers. Dead and buried. Season over. Gone. Where are you at? Talk me through it.
Well, just before I get to the Panthers, what a round of rugby league that was. I can't think of a better opening week to the season in a long, long time. It had everything. It had sin bins, field goals, golden points, big upsets. The Panthers, there's a lot of talk over the weekend about a couple of players who had an argument post-game, and Jerome Luai and Jamin Salmon. Well, I'm here as an ex-player, and I know that I've been in little conversations with players throughout a game as well. And we've got to get used to having microphones right in everyone's faces. This is the heat of the battle. This is frustration. I'm not sure if we've got the audio there, but if we have, we should play it, and we'll go through it after that. No, we haven't got it.
We'll pull that out down the track.
But yeah, look, Mickey, they went down to, that's 2 weeks in a row they've been beaten 13-12, if you count the Challenge Cup. They're warming up. They've lost two of their key players in Coruscant and Kikau, and it'll take time for some cohesion. No panic stations yet for the mighty Penny Panthers, not yet anyway.
All right, let's go. I'm going to ask you the biggest upset of the round. I think I know the answer to this question, but talk us through this seismic event that occurred.
Well, I had the great opportunity to start a game for the Western Reds back in '95, and the start of a new franchise is always special. The Dolphins yesterday at Suncorp Stadium, most thought they would be lucky to get within 20 points of the Roosters, but they beat them. And they beat them well. They bashed them into submission, 28 points to 18. And this is Dan Gannay from Triple M calling the final moments of that game.
There's no plays left. Wow. It is one of the greatest moments in the National Rugby League. A monumental upset. The Dolphins of Redcliffe have won their first game. But they have deserved this. They have looked the Roosters in the eye all afternoon, and they have pummeled them 28-18, and that is not a fair indication of their dominance.
Wow, you can sense the occasion, can't you? People really were just blown away by that.
Well, the four Queensland teams all prevailed on the weekend. The Broncos beat the Panthers, the Cowboys beat the Raiders, the Dolphins, and then the Titans finished off last night by beating the Tigers 22 points to 10. So it was an unbelievable round. The premiership heavyweights in Penrith and Roosters went down. Then teams like Manly and Souths looked really, really good. And this season,
Storm, Golden Point.
Well, Harry Grant, my goodness, how good is Harry bloody Grant? And then what about Munster? Cameron Munster played with a compound fracture to his finger. I mean, he's since been operated on, so he might be out for 2 to 3 weeks. Melbourne Storm fans, which you are one, Mickey, I know that.
There's stories all over the place at the moment. Kat, your boys, Manly, got the chockies too.
31-6. That was a great game, and Tommy, I was just so happy to see Tommy Turbo back. So that was unreal.
Hey, the NRL season's up and running. It's underway. There's winners, there's losers, there's upsets, there's things that you liked, you didn't like. We're going to mull on the things that we liked just for a minute. I mentioned what I was looking forward to recently on the show, and it was Ricky Stewart going bonkers at a press conference, because I love seeing it. Here's what was said on the show. That's what I want to see. I want to see Ricky Stewart say what he really thinks at press conferences. That would be a breath of fresh air, would it not?
Well, as you say, Mickey, I want to see him go bunter.
I'd love to see him turn up at a post-match press conference, tip the furniture over, and just start punching on with journalists.
That's
the only thing left for him to do. Well, asking ye shall receive.
Round one.
It didn't take him long, MG, to fire up. Can we go? And I'm going to ask you about it off the back of this, but let's have a listen to Ricky Stewart in action after the game.
The NRL, they don't trust coaches, mate. Do you think I'd let a player play if he had a concussion or he's concussed? And I don't just trust the player's comments when he comes to the sideline in regards to that. But when he's down, getting his leg attended to, and I asked him, and his eyes, there was no fatigue and there was no pain in his eyes in regards to when he come off, he was very coherent. That didn't help us in that game.
Yeah, well,
A
Ricky
bit to
wasn't-
unpack here, MG. So there's the head injuries, which is a very serious issue, but it's the how it's dealt with, I think, is his issue, is it?
Yeah, well, at the moment, Mick, we have an independent doctor who we need one because, look, what Ricky said then. Look, if your best player is coming off with a HIA and you're his coach, there's no way, unless it's really really bad, there's no way you're going to say don't go back on because it's all about 2 points. We've come a long way with concussion. We've been educated. A few players on the weekend played 3 or 4 minutes. I think one player, Totola against South, off the hit up, got KO'd, and he went to play the ball and he couldn't put his foot on the ball. That guy should stay off for the whole game. But there's some of the incidents that are kind of a bit scratchy. Look, the independent doctor, for those that don't know, he sits in the bunker, which is at Redfern. So the bunker isn't at the ground. The bunker is in this high-tech studio in Redfern, and that's where the independent doctor sits. So what we need to do, we need to have the independent doctor at each game. We need to have an independent doctor to say to both teams, look, I'm looking at this guy. You come with me, and let's all do it together. Let's all revise him together. Let's all have a look at him together. And then the independent doctor then ticks it off. You can't. Everyone's got self-interest, Mick. Everyone wants their best players on the game, and as far as we've come, 2 points is still more valuable than anything. So let's get the independent doctor at the grounds. That's our first step. It's round one. Let's get it happening.
We need a doctor that makes house calls. You know what I mean? You can't be
Dr.
sitting
Harry.
there. I mean, at a boxing match, the ringside doctor is ringside. He's not sitting in the next suburb going, "Oh, he looks a bit dodgy. Maybe don't come out." You're there. You see it. You're into it. All right, Tash has joined us. Tash, what did you love? Come on, tell us what you loved about the World.
I loved the Dolphins. I loved the
did.
underdog. Everyone underestimated them. Of course, Wayne Bennett has to be the super coach of the whole game. The fact that they were the underdogs, the Dolphins were in sensational form. The Roosters looked like an amateur. Am I going too hard here, MG?
Hey, keep going, darling. Keep going.
An
Oh.
amateur under-16 group where they couldn't even chase them for the tries. And then what I love, compared to Ricky Stewart, who goes bananas, and I love a bit of passion. I love getting fired up. Wayne Bennett shows zero emotion.
No, he's Gran Torino. He's Clint Eastwood. He just sits there on his rocking horse with his rifle.
Well, he's very close to a walking cadaver, so I think someone should check for a pulse. And make
Weekend at
sure
Bernie
he's still
style.
alive. They will be dragging you around weekend at Bernie style very soon. You mentioned Turbo. You love that cat. That was yours.
He's been injured so much, and he is the game changer. So it was so wonderful to see him not only score, but just to be a part of that game
Yeah,
fully.
I'm with you. And every time, look, I love rugby league, and I'm a mad Panther, and I love the sport. But every time Tommy Turbo got the ball, I kind of grimaced, and hopefully he got up and played the ball properly. Also, on another note, Lachlan Ilias, the young number 7. Last year, a lot of speculation around Adam Reynolds leaving, going to the Broncos. Well, Lachlan Ilias has started this season with a man of him and Daly Cherry Evans were probably the two best players of round one, I thought. So, well done, South, with a fantastic victory over the Sharkies. Without Nico Hines, they missed him badly.